Assalamu alaikum. This is your computer science teacher, Sir Fawad Akhtar Ansari, and let's resume our class. Today we will study functions in the Python programming. Mostly students are asking me that which document I am using in my YouTube videos. So basically, this is a book that I have written for the O levels programming, and I have written it in three languages: Python, Java, and VB.NET. And this book is available on Amazon, and you may buy it from there. I will share the Amazon link in the description. So you may find this book useful comparatively to the other market books. The reason is obvious that I have written it in three different languages. So if the student is learning the Java and he wants to know that how the programs are written in the Python or in the VB.NET, so he can compare the Java programs with the Python and the VB.NET programs, so he can get easy comparison. So I have made the proper outline and added solved and unsolved exercises in my book. As you can see in my videos that I'm showing you the contents of my book. So I recommend you to practice from the book because it is really helpful for you in doing the O levels examination programming syllabus. So now let's resume our class. Basically, functions we already have studied in the theory, that what are the procedures, what are the functions. So basically in the Python we use a function. So basically, what is a function? We can say that it is a module, or it is the block of code that is also used to perform a specific task, but it is in the program is in the form of more organized manner. So just like the loop, we used to repeat the specific set of tasks, but in the functions it becomes more organized, more readable, and more smarter than the other programs. But how do we do it in the Python? So let's jump to the exercise questions, so you will have a clear idea of it. Now first question is, for example, a simple program like write a function that takes two integers as a parameter and return their sum. So let me introduce the methodology of the parameter. So parameters are basically the input functions, and basically whatever the variable we are using, we will use it as a parameter along with the data type. If we talk about the return, so return basically is a data type that our function used to return into the main program. So let's see how it we have to write it. If you do not understand, so do not worry, we will cover in the practical. So for example, write a function that takes two integers as parameter and return their sum. So in the Python we use a keyword def, means define. So first portion is define, we are defining the function. Then add underscore to underscore numbers. This is basically the text that you can see. Add two numbers, this is the name of our function. So first portion defines the name, like def means defines. What does it do? It define the name of our function. This is the name of our function. Add two numbers. And what are these two numbers basically? So we call them num1 and num2. So there are the three portions of our function. First portion is def keyword, second portion is the name of the function, and the third is the parameter. So num1 and num2 are the parameters because our program is depending on these two variables. Then what does it do? It returns the sum of two numbers, as in the question, like that, take two numbers and as parameter and return their sum. So that is why we are returning the sum. So we write the keyword return. So keep this thing in your mind. We use a keyword return, and what do we return? Num1 and num2, as it is mentioned in the question that it returns the sum. Now how does it do it? So here I use a variable a and I assign a number 5 in it, and I use a variable b and I assign a number 10 in the b. So let's check the implementation in the Python programming, that how does it work. Now I am copying my code and pasting it in my Python. Okay, so I have to take care of the indentation. If I do not do this, my program will not work. Okay ji, so now next thing is, last step is a printing of it. So okay, so how do we do it? For example, I use a keyword print to display the result. Print and the sum is, and here what I will do, I use the name of my function. The name of my function is add two numbers. So I just copy the code, I copy the function name along with the parameter here, and instead of num1 I take variable a, and instead of num2 I take variable b, because num1 will fetch the value 5 from variable a, and num2 will fetch the value of 10 from variable b. Now let's check the output of the code. The sum is 15. So how does it do it? As I told you, variable num is fetching the number 5 from the variable a. So it means that a 5 plus 10 becomes 5 plus 10, 15, and num2 is fetching the number 10 from variable b. So once it is stored, it will calculate 5 plus 10 and it will return into the form of a function. I hope you understand the concept of it. Alright, so now let's break down it. Now def, basically it is a keyword that I told you that whenever we write the function in the Python, so we write the keyword def, and after that the text that you see here, add two numbers. So this is the name of our function, and here in the brackets num1 and num2, these are the parameters, or you can say that these are the placeholders which accept the values that we input or that we used to assign in the variable. For example, in our case I assigned the value 5 in variable a, and I assign the value 10 in variable b. So it depends upon you. If you want to take the input, then you may input, otherwise if you want to assign the value, so you may assign it. Now let's further break down the code. So the return, basically what does this keyword mean? So as I told you that it will return the value into the main program by fetching the values from the variable a and b. So this is how it works. Then okay, I already explained you. So basically when we call the variable in the last, as you see in the print statement, so I called my function. So as I show you here, look, the print statement. So in the print statement that you see, this line, what does it do basically? So what does it do here? It basically, we are calling the function to return the values. As you can see it here, that the add two number function name a and b means that we are calling the function which will return the value 15. So it will display the result. I hope you got the concept of it. So yeah, that's it. Now let's try to make another function. Write a function that takes the string as a parameter and then prints it. So for example, I write the keyword define, and what is the name of my function? The name of the function must be meaningful. So what we do with the function, the purpose is to take the string as a parameter and print the solution. So I name my function print underscore string, and what is my parameter? It is a string, so that is why I name it a text data. I already used the word string here, so I just made a change in the parameter. So I use a word text, so it will just print the text. It is a simple function that prints the text. So the function has been completed here. It is a small function, but this text will fetch the information or fetch which thing, which text. So in the main program I write the sentence hello world, and then I store the words hello world into the variable message. So my words are stored in the variable message, and then we will display it. Let me copy and paste the code, then explain you in the Python environment. Okay ji. So here we are here. So my function name is pretty straightforward, that yes, we are defining a function which is to print the string, whatever we use the string. So I take a parameter text. The purpose of the text is to fetch the information from the variable. Now I will display the text. In this case I am printing my text or the string into the function, inside the function. Now how this text will fetch the information? It will go to the main program and it will take the words or the sentence from this variable which names is message, and this message will be displayed along with the function name. So print string is my function name and my parameter is the message. So this is how we make the functions in the Python depending on the questions requirement. So you remember, for example, in the last program, look, we did the same thing, but it was kind of the addition, so that is why the question was different and this question was different. So let's test the code. Hello world. So it displayed the same thing. Actually there is nothing different. We are making the same codes, but we are converting it, we are placing it into the function. Now next thing is write a function that takes no parameter. Now we have to make a function without parameter. So how do we do it? Let me copy the code, then I will explain. Okay, so now for example this is a code which is with parameter. Now I paste my code which is without parameter. So when we make a without parameter, you see the brackets are blank. In this bracket we wrote the parameter, and without the parameter we do not write anything. So the question, let me show you the question again. The question is write a function that takes no parameter and print hello function. So this it will only print. So I write the name of my function which is print underscore greeting, because I'm displaying the message hello function, so this is a greeting, so I want to print it. So my function name is print greeting without the parameter. After that I use inside the function I want to display print hello functions, because if you see that here with the parameter we write the parameter here, and here we do not have parameter, so I am displaying the same thing. Instead of the parameter I just type the message, and then I am calling my function into the main program, which means I am returning the value into the main program. So I return the value, you will see the output hello functions, hello world. So these are the two functions in my code. You may add more than one function, but I am just solving one question only, so I do not mix up with the other question. So that was our question, that you have to display the message hello function without the parameters. So this is how we do. Now next thing is function parameter and return type. So for example, let's solve this question. Write a function that takes an integer as a parameter and return true it is even, or false if it is odd. So we need help of our library routine. So let's make the question, let's solve the question. Okay, let me remind you, read the question again, that write a function that takes an integer as a parameter and return the true if it is even, otherwise it will return false if it is odd. So let's suppose I am pasting the code here. So first of all, I write my function name. My function name is even, and what my parameter is? My parameter is number, right? And I return this number. Acha, it depends upon you that you want to store it in the variable or you type the formula. For example, I use a variable modulus, for example, and I store this formula. So instead of this, you may write your variable name as well. It's up to you, your choice, whatever you wish to do. Instead of the entire formula, I use a variable. So it's your choice what you wish to do. So let's go to the function. So my function name is even, is underscore even, and what does it check? My parameter is number. How I will check that my number is even or odd? So I return to the main program along with this formula that number modulus 2, it must be equals to 0. So I use equality operator here. So this is a formula of a modulus that will help us to find out the number is even or the odd. So my function will return this formula into the main program. How does it turn to the main program? Let's first study this, that how do we get the value from main program into the variable number, into the parameter number. So the parameter used to accepts the value from the main program. So in the main program I choose the number 4. This is this number I assigned it. I did not take the input. If you want to take the input, so you may go for the input number. Otherwise, if you want to assign a number, so you may do it. So I assigned a 4 into the variable number, and my function, what it will return? It will return this formula into the main program, and it will fetch the value from the main program. So the number parameter will fetch the value 4 from the main program into it. Then it will calculate the modulus. After that, I type my variable name num. After that, I want to display this message, and I call my function. Okay, I do not need this thing. Okay, so that is why I am removing it. Okay. Let me check that whether it is working or not. Let's test the 4 is even, true. Yes. So 4 is the number that will be printed here in the first. Then is even, it is here, is even, and whether the number is true or false. So this function is calling returning the value to the main program. So it is telling us that it is true. So it is done by automatic. So yeah, I hope you got the concept of the function. So let's go to the next step. There are plenty of exercises or the functions, so you may buy the book and do the practice of it, and inshallah you will learn the O levels syllabus Python code easily from the book. There are the plenty of solved and the unsolved exercises. Same thing, same functions we can make with the library routines. So we can do, there are plenty of library routines that we can apply in our code. So let's wind up today's class for now, and inshallah we will meet in the next class. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.